Today the message is entitled The Error of Vashti. When Solomon died and Rehoboam succeeded him, Solomon was a very powerful king. And when the grace of God is on you, you can do anything, nobody will complain. But if another person comes to do the same thing, there will be a problem. So Solomon had already overburdened the people of Israel with a lot of taxes. So when Rehoboam came and succeeded him, the people came to him and said, King, your father has burdened us with a lot of taxes. So you relieve the burden from us. Solomon was a very expensive king. Most of the money was coming from the people. He said, relieve us a little and we will be your servant forever. And Rehoboam decided to go and ask the elderly people in his government. This is what the people are saying. What should I do? The elders told him, look, king, serve the people a day and they will be your servant forever. This is one of the key statements to life. Anything you want to control, anything you want to possess, you cannot possess till you have submitted to the thing. And this is what I'm telling all wives, potential wives. Serve today and the man will be your servant forever. I always say, it is better to be single than to say, I also want to marry and not know what to do or not do the right thing. Esther chapter 1, verse 1 all the way to the verse 14. This is what happened during the time of Xerxes. The Xerxes who ruled over 127 provinces stretching from India to Kush. At that time, King Xerxes reigned from his royal throne in the citadel of Susa. And in the third year of his reign, he gave a banquet for all his nobles and officials, the military leaders of Persia and Media, the princes, the nobles of the provinces were present. For a full 180 days, he displayed the vast wealth of his kingdom and the splendor and the glory of his majesty. When these days were over, the king gave a banquet lasting 7 days in the closed garden of the king's palace for all the people from the least to the greatest who were in the citadel of Susa. The garden had hangings of white and blue linen, fastened with cords of white linen and purple materials, to silver rings on a marble pillars. There were coaches of gold and silver on a mosaic pavement of porphyry marbles, mother of pearls, and other costly stones. Wine was served in goblets of gold, and one different from the other. And the royal wine was abundant in keeping with the king's liberty. By the king's command, each guest was allowed to drink with no restriction. For the king instructed all the wine stewards to serve each man what he wishes. Queen Vashti also gave a banquet for the women in the royal palace of King Xerxes. On the 7th day, when King Xerxes was in high spirit from wine, he commanded the 7 eunuchs who served him, Mehuman, Besta, Habona, Bekta, Abakta, Zeta, and Kakas, to bring before him Queen Vashti, wearing her royal crown, in order to display her beauty to the people and the nobles, for she was lovely to look at. But when the attendants delivered the king's command, Queen Vashti refused to come. Then the king became furious and burning with anger. Since it was customary for the king to consult experts in the matter of the law and justice, he spoke with the wise men who understood the times and were closest to the king: Kashina, Shita, Admata, Tashish, Merish, Masina, and Memucan, the 7 nobles of Persia and Media, who had special access to the king and were highest in the kingdom. According to the law, what must be done to Queen Vashti? He asked. She has not obeyed the command of King Xerxes that the eunuch had taken to her. The Memucan replied in the presence of the king and the nobles, Queen Vashti has done wrong, not only against the king, but also all the nobles and the people of all the provinces of King Xerxes. For the queen's conduct will become known to all the women, so they would despise their husbands and say, King Xerxes commanded Vashti to be brought before him, but she would not come. This very day, the Persians and the Median women of the nobility who had heard about the queen's conduct will respond to all the king's nobles. In the same way, there will be no end of disrespect and discord. If you know the story very well, you will realize that at the end of the day, Vashti was changed because of one thing that she did. I call it the error of Vashti because it was one error, but there are some errors that are one, but it means a lot of things. Sometimes you say, is it not only this that I did? Yes, it is only this, but when we consult the wise men who knows the times, they will know that it is not one thing that you did, but it's actually many things that is packaged into one. Remember that in considering this story, we must know what Vashti is enjoying. Most of the time, the reason for misbehavior of wives is because they suddenly forget what husbands have done for them. Or sometimes there is a problem, and the problem has been magnified so much that you don't even remember what the man has done for you. That is why it is a common language among women. When they are having a misunderstanding with you, they can easily tell you, since I came here, what have you done for me? That language, if you're a Christian, it must never come from your mouth. If you look at the verse 10, you realize that she had honor and recognition. Vashti was called Queen Vashti. And she didn't make herself a queen. Actually, it is the king who saw her, appointed her, honored her, named her, and she became queen. The man saw a lot of women, but chose you. Your name was moved from Miss to Mrs. And because of that, you are respected because the man chose you. Do you remember when they were sending you to the altar and everybody was looking at you and everybody was honoring you and everybody was giving you gift? It was not because you organized the wedding yourself. The man did that for you. You have been given a name because of the man. Don't forget that it was this man who gave me a name. Vashti was given a name, but she forgot. If you read verse 9, she had access to the king's royal chambers. Who dare you to go to the king's royal court? Remember, when Esther was supposed to go there to see the king, she was even praying as a queen. Say, pray with me, because if the king does not lift the scepter, send out to me. But Vashti could go, because the Bible says Vashti was beautiful and lovely to behold. There are some women, they are too nice. Some women, their character is too nice. Many men have had unnecessary accident because of some women. Just look forward, they won't look forward. The bedroom, no woman, no man is allowed to enter there but you. You are the only person who the man said, I'm comfortable with you. You are the one I love. Remember that the man rented the house because of you. Because you were coming, he was in the ghetto. He's decided that no, the queen is coming, so let me change inside. You are the reason why the carpet was bought. You are the reason why one or two things were changed. Even there was no light bulb in the room, he was fine. But when you were coming, he decided that let me change the bulb. Number 3, she shared the wealth of the king. The Bible says his adornment. Look at the things that Vashti has adorned herself with. Let's look at the outward tapestries. What made a queen a queen? To bring before him Queen Vashti wearing her royal crown. Do you know the type of ornaments? But she's the only person who wears it. There is no husband here that the wife is not the person spending more of his money. Unless the husband is a Solomonic husband. But every husband spends most of the money on the wife. Some of them, and they don't come to you direct, but we'll buy prepaid because you have to get light. We are also paying rent because you have to be fine. We are giving chop money because you have to eat. All these things are that which the man sharing his royalness with you. Don't forget that if you're a woman, he was wearing his royal crown in order to display her beauty to the noble people. Not only that, she had enough money to organize party for the ladies. So the king is having time with the guys. Say, let me also organize some party for the women. Let's do girls things. And where is the money coming from? Because she doesn't work. The king will say that, okay, release the money for her. So she was actually being catered for. She was living a life that is comfortable. She had authority over the women. You know, your authority as a woman is not over the man, but at least it's over the house. You know, you can control everything in the house. If the children are there, you control. If you have a maid, you can control. If any foreigner who is not your husband comes, you, the woman, has authority over the person. Just like Vashti had authority to dictate to the other women in the house. If you are a man, don't let any other woman be over your wife. It's not okay. That is why when matters come, don't speak to your family members too much to come and undermine your wife. It must not be so. Apart from me, the next boss is my wife. And I want to tell every man here that apart from you, your wife is the next boss. Not your brother, not your sister, not your mother, not your father. Nobody. Your wife. She had authority. So women, know that you have been put at a place of authority. That is why when the women start challenging the men, I ask them, what do you want? Because you have your jurisdiction. Now, why are you coming to sit on top of the man? And the last thing that the women were enjoying. She had recognition and respect in the kingdom. You can never compare the person who's not married to the person who's married. No way. Yenya do the two group of people in Nima. Ya share and sashe kawa. Ni decide ni anidi sen. Marriage is an honorable thing. That is why even if you are a man, or respect epeja se kawa beshaonsa. If you are a wife here, I want to tell you that ni dia won hono. Never allow anybody to disrespect your wife. Because the moment anybody disrespect your wife, the person has disrespected you in disguise. Your wife is a no-go area for anybody. Because she must enjoy the honor and the respect. So this was what Vashti was enjoying. In fact, I do not understand up till now why Vashti decided not to respond to the king. The king has given Vashti all that she needed. The king has loved Vashti from her heart, admired Vashti. And Bible said the king was merry with his people. With his people all around him. He said, bring my wife and let her come and show me her beauty in her royal regalia. And you know, the king even sent, Bible say, his servants, 5 of them, who serve him, the king, that go and call her royal majesty to come and show me her beauty. This was a time that you magnify your own respect, honor. This was the time to prove to the king that I am the right person for you and I give you honor in front of all. This was the time for Vashti to prove to the king that when God said, I will give you a helpmeet, I was the one. The truth of the matter is that the king was intoxicated. The king was tipsy. The king was drunk in a way. But for the king to be drunk and still say, go and bring me my wife, not to disgrace herself, but to show me her beauty. That was an opportunity for Vashti to respond to the king, to cover the king. And say, despite the state of my husband, I still stand at her command. But when Vashti said, go and tell the king that I'm not coming, I asked myself, why did Vashti do that? Why did she do that? Did she do that because the king was drunk? Or she did that because the fact that she has been allowed access to do her own thing in the kingdom has entered into her head? So Vashti couldn't know that dishonoring or disrespecting the king in front of all these elders mean disrespecting the whole elders. So Vashti didn't know that. Wives, sometimes when you disrespect your husbands, it is not one sin. It is a lot of sin put together, but you don't know. That is why some things must be no-go area for a wife. Vashti gloriously display her beauty and walk majestically out of the throne. And everybody will gaze at her with an open mouth. The sweetness of her beauty oozing from her as if it was a petal. Vashti could have done better. And I'm sorry to say that the position of Vashti has become the position of most wives in a marriage. We feel that our reaction must be based on the man's action. We feel that because he's doing this, I must also behave like this. The Vashti spirit is ruling the world now. Oh, Memucan gave the right advice and said, let us clear Vashti. Otherwise, other people will copy. But I'm sorry to say, we have copied already. Let us punish Vashti. Let us cast the Vashti away. Because what she did, other women can copy. But I'm sorry, have you deleted a virus file? Say, this is a virus file. Delete. But the virus has entered already. There are most people who have been pricked by HIV, infected needle at the hospital. Those times that prophylaxis had not come. The moment they were pricked, they go, they squeeze their hand, they wash, they do all sorts of things. But the virus has entered. 6 months time, they check it's positive. There are people that snake has bitten them and they did everything. They cut them with scissors, they sucked the blood, they washed with soap, they did everything, but the venom had entered already. What every man wants is to marry a wife who will respond. A wife who will stand when I am weak, and a wife who will support when I am strong. We all want those people who understand that marriage is not competition. Marriage is support. I don't believe that marriage is the ping-pong, or the engagement that you have that people get. I don't believe that that is marriage. I believe that marriage starts when you enter the house and know what to do. If I bought the nicest car, Bugatti, and it was carried, not driven, because if you drive it, it will change the speedometer. So it was lifted into my house. Lamborghini, Cybertruck, Rolls Royce. I bought Rolls Royce, expensive car. I didn't buy keke, and I brought the car into my house. When I was buying the car, I didn't have a car. When it came to my house, I still didn't have a car. If I sat on the Rolls Royce and I spark, and the Rolls Royce brand new, start doing, I'm sparking, but it did. No, I want to tell somebody, I didn't buy a knockout. I bought a Lamborghini. I bought a Bugatti. I bought a Cybertruck. But when I sparked the car, brand new car, what kind of wife are you? I brought you Bugatti to come and help me travel, but now all you are giving me is what kind of wife are you? To hold me because I made a mistake, and to warn me because you saw my weakness. What kind of wife? Vashti, you have the right to disrespect who God has put in your life simply because there's a mistake you are seeing. There's an error you have seen. Vashti, who told you to lift up your voice against your husband? Is that what they told you marriage was about? To come and compete with a man and detect and sit on top of the man, iron the man and regulate the man like he's your child? Who spoiled you? There are some behaviors from women. The moment they put up, they must be out of the house immediately because you were not ready in the first place. Now, let's analyze Vashti here. Now, why did Vashti disrespect the king? One, because Vashti had anger issues. If you have a woman or yiria on to mean control or nuankasa nebufua, that's a dangerous wife. Go for women who have understanding and patience. Men kofa jata embesofie because odi jata besofia onya obechiwari. We are bad jata. That's why you are hearing this message. Go and change. O star na enya ejuma. Enya ejuma na enya ejuma china. O the problem na beba aware ni sa to time abewu afia asase so. O besua omuso ometoa so. And obegina nyankopon judgment throne in him. God will judge you into condemnation because you didn't behave like Christ. Nia opesa oyenwanye. Women must be women. We must not behave like this modern day competitors who still want to be in the space of the matrimonial environment and still claim the title of a wife but are not ready to manifest the nature thereof. We must not be like them. If Bible recognizes and confesses to us that we must stay in humility to our husband, let's do that because that is the only way by which we experience the joy in marriage and the joy in life. It is not possible that Vashti was not a spoiled child. All indication shows that men, listen to me. Wives are made. You can't make a wife. It is not everybody that is a wife. When you talk to those people who are not wives, they know it themselves. That may mean to mean submitting. And it's not wrong if they know. It is wrong when they behave like wives. That is why the dumbest men in this life are the men that God will show them all the signs that this is not a wife. And they will still go on and marry the person. So when the problem comes now, who you they blame now? Face them. There is something that we need. And it is not sex. It is that single person who will tell you, I am with you no matter what. A man does not want an accuser. You see mistake, you accuse it. There's no one single man who has made a mistake and the wife has seen the mistake and the wife accuses him and the man accepts. No, the man will defend himself because he will ask, who is this? The man will remember even the small things you have done and also used to accuse you. Because the truth of the matter is not the fact that we didn't know that it was a mistake. It's because this is not how we want you to address it. But as a wife, we didn't want you to address it that way. When you decide to put your husband where he belongs, the way things fall in place to your own joy is amazing. You stretch out your hand on your husband like this and say, oh, you're careful, pa. You're careful. You, the woman that we married, that day we were not seen, but it was our money. When we told you that help us to buy the dowry, you said, no, I will not help you. You are coming to marry me. Marry me. People said me disrespect your hand, but didn't know that he was sending a wrong signal to the children. Sometimes the children learn subconsciously. You talk to them, they will smile, but they have learned something that you have done subconsciously. And you know, subconscious things will always manifest later on in life. Whatever you sow, you reap. These children will meet the same thing on the way. They will not even remember. The reaction will come automatically because it has been put in the DNA. Let me tell you, your conduct in the marriage is a seed you are sowing to the people around you. It is not by force. Don't pretend. If you are not a wife material, don't pretend. Mean to me, better. So better now when you don't be in the marriage and kill generations. Will help you out. Let me tell all wives, I'm telling you, wife, listen to me. Your duty is not to fight the man, serve the man, support the man, love the man. When do you see the man's mistakes? Have a nice way of saying it and deal with your anger. It's called emotional intelligence. Most of the women, your husband will chase girls out till they die because of your anger. Unye papa, finish. Anger no, ade bia kofa story a be say environment na de aba. Ye no bon komana na nkomo na echiaba. Echia ko identify with mistake aye 5 days ago. Ye ntumi no bon komo clean eni je komo a kire se o body na wo chia no ko. Ntu ye nso ye inte wo chia no so na yesu ye twa so ba. Na ye pie. Men wakoma the ding said they are making until. There are some people, you see, sometimes when they are praying, then they are busy as if they are doing something. They want to distract themselves so that they will not hear. So that they can still go home and say, now can say they are Reverend kind of métier. Stubborn wives. May we become wives indeed in Jesus' name.